Je suis français. Mon nom est Philippe EDOUARD. I'm French. I'm a French green card guy. My name is Dr. Philippe EDOUARD. I'm a veteran, and I'm a green card guy. Is that okay? Because the African Americans in the offices of those elected officials have been marginalizing immigrants. And I'm about to prove it in court. And they even betrayed their own African Americans. Those are the facts, and those facts are irrefutable. Just a French green card guy. It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm at Highland Care Nursing Home. I came to say goodbye to Mrs. Green because by the time they figure out I did all this videotaping of people being neglected, warehoused in here, I'll never be let back in here. But if you die before I do, tell God not to forgive Congressman Meeks, not to forgive New York State Senator Huntley, not to forgive New York State Senator M.SMITH. Vivian Cook has cancer. She's going to die real soon, about 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is. She should live very long so she can suffer a long time. New York City Councilman LEROY RANCE HUFF. What an abomination. This is Sunday night, 8 o'clock at night, and these are the people. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. And see right there, that's Mrs. Green. Hooked up to a machine, being fed these liquid supplements. And this is the warehousing of these old people for $140,000 a year. I can't. Mrs. Green. The reason why my life got destroyed was because I saved your life. I protected you about the $20,848,000 left by HOLSIA Mitchell, who lives in apartment 10K at Shelton House, New York City Housing Authority. Somebody help me out here, man. My life's been destroyed, everything. You hear these people yelling in here? This is the woman that was thought to be dead. She's not dead. She's not dead. She's right here. She's right here at Highland Care, and that's her roommate. Okay? She is not dead. Mrs. Green did not die. I've been coming here for years. I kept a secret. I knew all this. I told everybody where she was, but they covered it up. The District Attorney's Office, CREEDMOOR Psychiatric, Human Resource Administration, Adult Protective Services. Everybody covered this up. And the district attorney knows because I charmed Bianca into giving her the thing to go to my website, and the DA calling me, wanting me to come in there so they can arrest me and abuse me. Not going to happen. They come and get me, they can come and get me. But you better have a search warrant, you better have an arrest warrant. That's all I know. This is the victim of a Nazi copycat crime that Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg covered up. What can I tell you? This is what they look like when they're in a nursing home, dying. And they're just an economy being warehoused because they put them out of their house in public housing so they can harvest the apartments. And they dump them in a nursing home. And when they go to the hospital visiting nurse service, social workers get money when they refer them to certain nursing homes. Go ahead. He can vomit and choke on his own puke. He vomits, he chokes, and dies on his own puke. That's what I'm talking about. He vomits and chokes on his own puke. When's that going to happen? Go ahead. Go ahead. That's what I exposed in order to get people to do their damn job. That's what I expose in order to get people to do their damn job. I'll never see these people again in life because I am the housing.
You should understand, Tom Crater, black newspaper, he can't write controversial stories or his advertisers will leave him. So that's stumps speech, and it eliminates the First Amendment of free speech. Okay, but it's a fact that it's hard out there for a black man. And it's not that you don't have a history of screwing over veterans, Mr. Bloomberg. What? I'm not attacking you because of anything other than what everybody else said about you. You got that? You see that? Bloomberg leaves New York City, 400,000 veterans out in the cold. You gonna leave me out in the cold, Mayor Bloomberg? Are you? This is evidence that Airborne Ranger Cook. That's where I got my, I ran away from home and ran into the Army. 1st Battalion, 75th Infantry, Fort Stewart, Georgia, like I told you. This is the color picture of me jumping. Airborne Ranger DRICE. 1975, 1976. And you trying to kill me and cover it up like this guy! I will not be a victim, okay? I'm just a French person. Please, please, I'm begging you, please, please, give me a reprieve, Mayor Bloomberg. To get back to the matter on Martin Luther King's birthday, I wrote to them and said, the political lynching of Philip Edward DRICE, remembered on this great day, and you still have an opportunity to cease and desist with the crimes. There shall be no profit in this for NYCHA, and the court of public opinion watching the 10-minute excerpt of the 28-minute DVD logged in with the notice of claim, with the book to the district attorney, shall air nationally on YouTube. And there's a whole lot more. Call Congressman Meeks, 718-725-6000. Had complained about her stealing money from Ms. Green, and they began to persecute me and been trying to put me out. And I guess they fired Cynthia Cruz from the Inspector General's office, and they fired Mitchell, and they moved Isaac Perry out of here, all from the complaints of everything that's been doing, and Zia Mitchell has been the one that's been doing all kinds of crazy things and doing elder abuse. This is the falling paint chips. We're talking about total lack of services, and from the view of this apartment, there is no way Ms. Green went and spent, and her daughter even said on tape, she's had this furniture here since she's been here. So the $20-some thousand that's missing with Mitchell now, right, now.
But I have the paper stating whose name is in it, on it, Hosea Mitchell or whatever her name is.
Hosea Mitchell.
Yeah.
Now, when you went to the bank, they mentioned something, could you tell us that from your own words, please? About what happened, about her saying that the daughter was deceased, and that's why how she got her name on the bank account.
Oh, I'm her only child. I was living on Clason Avenue. I'm quite sure I lived there at least 8 or 9 years, but I can prove I'm not moving from place to place. But what I understand, my mother had nobody. She said she sent me the post office things for me to sign. I know what apartment I was in, and she sent them. She'd have got them back or something like that. She has no evidence or nothing like that.
Okay. Now, what happened when you went for that interview with Victoria Cruz in the Inspector General's office again, please?
Concerning in what way?
Concerning the check, I mean the stolen money or the missing money.
Oh, they just told me they was going to take care of it and not talk to nobody and this and that and other.
How much money did she tell you that was that?
She told me it was $20,000. The only time she contact me is she want to know what's going on.
Okay.
I have no help from them at all.
And you know Mitchell recently got fired.
No, I heard it was a rumor.
No, she's been terminated from housing, and she's still on tenant patrol downstairs. Now, why don't you tell us about that situation that you had mentioned before, in your own words, not what I thought I heard, about her hitting your niece that was coming in the building and stuff while she was on tenant patrol.
My daughter.
Oh, your daughter.
That's pregnant.
Uh-huh.
Was coming in the building.
Uh-huh.
And she had hurt. My son, if he want to come in the building, she won't even open the door for him or nothing like that. Claim she never know who he is. But he'll be around tomorrow.
Okay.
We always try to check on Mom.
Did she hit your daughter?
Yeah.
She was pregnant, and Mitchell had physical contact with her that was inappropriate.
From what I understand, I'm not worrying about that. I'm worrying about my mother's money.
Yes, and
right now, my mother has a light bill, which I got in touch with the welfare on Jamaica Avenue or something, which I guess is a reply. They're getting ready to cut her lights off. And also, the man was out here. She has no Medicaid. She has no home attendant.
right, and that's
No
is
food
that
stamps.
because
All this goes with the thing, but they put a freeze on everything on my mother's.
and that was done by the Inspector General's office?
I don't know what was done by, but it has something to do with this case with her money being missing.
Right, and it was HOLSIA Mitchell attempting to become a representative payee with Social Security and with the missing money. That's why her Medicare and Medicaid, all that is missing, and she can't get a home attendant.
I understand it has something to do with it. Well, listen to this. I walked in the bank one day because Ms. Mitchell put an insurance policy, accident insurance policy on my mother.
Mitchell put an insurance policy against your mother's death.
Accident, yeah. I walked in the bank and they asked me, I remember very clearly, had my mother had an accident because somebody else she had one on, but this is just hearsay, he had deceased.
Oh, that's the man that with the missing check, with the stolen check.
I don't know.
So,
but the bank asked me that. Had my mother deceased. She had an accident. I said, what do you mean an accident?
oh, so Mitchell put a accidental life insurance policy on your mother, and the bank was told that your mother was deceased, and somebody trying to collect that money?
No, when I went in there, they asked me that. You see right here?
Okay.
This is where I had to go and try to get her utility bill paid.
Okay.
It's right there. $600. She'd have been able to keep up with her bills. She don't have change, right change. Her clothes, no nothing right now.
And you and your family have been the only ones that have been charged with taking care of sole support of your mother.
$312 or $20-some. That's her husband's benefit. Now in the morning I'm gonna get up and try to go to Social Security Board and see what I can do there. It's hard trying to feed her and everything else. It's very hard. I wish somebody would help me.
Well, I'm going to make sure that I take this to the Supreme Court judge because I'm filing an Article 76 motion in Supreme Court. Hopefully, they can subpoena Tino Hernandez, Douglas Apple, Judith Abruzzo, the Inspector General, and Ricardo Antonio Morales, who's the head of legal. All of them know this because I bug them. I call up their phone, leave messages. Nobody calls me back. I've been complaining for 2 years about your mother. We just met not too long ago.
Another thing, anything they can put against her now to put her out, they're doing it. I got receipts where her rent was paid.
Yes.
They pulled us in court last month.
Right, I remember. I saw you going to court.
And all like that. Anything they can get against her. I don't understand. What's the man's name? Mr. Perry or Clark or whatever?
Yeah, Clark. The tall, light-skinned guy.
The only way I got him off my back, I had to bring my husband in here. I had to go get papers and make copies of it. I had a place to stay because he said I was staying here with my mother.
Exactly what he... Okay. Clark has been... I don't want to get...
The other day on the elevator.
Yeah, remember when I saw you, remember what I said? Don't let him sucker you into signing a whole bunch of papers and getting you to do things in order to help evict your mother out of here.
I don't know.
See, yeah, there you go. You hear that, Judge?
I don't know.
Glenn Clark has been trying to scare other people here. That's been NYCHA's modus operandi of trying to scare black people out of this building in order, I don't know for what.
Listen, I had to get a paper for my 13-year-old son, my, believe it or not, grandbaby. He wasn't even a year old. Wait,
And
my daughter was pregnant with one, and the other one wasn't even a year old, and myself, without an address, which something had been mailed to us recently.
Uh-huh. And Clark is the one that's been perpetrating.
That made me go do this, and I brought him in, and he was talking to me when I walked.
Do you feel that his actions have been that what he's been trying to do is not regular? Do you think you've been harassed in any way, or you being tormented, or there's been actions that's been happening against your mother in order to attempt to get rid of you?
Well, what's been happening? Well, I understand it's unnecessary things, you know, little things. But when you have a mother that old, and you got all the children, grands like that, you worry about your family. I'm the only child. I have nowhere to take her to right now. He told me I can't even spend one night in my mother's house. His exact words. And told me also, which my husband can prove this, he told me this last year, I had to be out here when the sun go down. I said, excuse me, sir. I said, it gets dark now like 4 o'clock.
Look at me. Even Miss Green laughing.
I had to be out here when it get dark outside. And now anybody goes to their mother's house, they feel at home. This is the only mother, we're the only closest one. Me and my mother, I'm her only child. Well, I just wish everybody could get off my back and give my mother a little stuff and we could make it on down the Merry Road.
All right.
I got to say.
All right. Thank you very much for your video testimony. I'm going to make sure I put this on videotape and get it to the judge. And today's date is October 13, 2005. What time you got, baby?
I ain't trying to be funny, but I know it's a Jewish holiday. That's part of the date. It is now 1:21 p.m.
All right. Okay.
Oh, and my name is Frony Green. I went back to my maiden name. My phone number is 347-512-9821. Get in touch with me anytime. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we got all this. I'm just hoping to get 2 more people on here, which is Ms. Barlow and Cynthia Hill, because she's running for Tenant Association president. Yo, Clark came over there to serve me with eviction papers for me to get out, and he told me, "You done, boy, you done."
Well, this made me laugh. I didn't know he was going down, but I guess, you know, he got to ride down 1 flight of steps just to get to his car in the basement.
Right.
I said, excuse me, what are you, because I always call you.
Because, you know, I was telling you not to, not to let him.
11K. I said, what is he talking about? I don't know. You know, he's crazy. I said, yeah. I said, okay.
I think that establishes slandering my name. I'm not crazy. And anybody that I'm trying to help, they try to slander my name, say I'm crazy.
So
The same thing. Oh, yeah, they sure did.
The slander they put on me.
Oh, what about when Mitchell falsified the police report when the woman down on the 2nd floor got beat up and tried to have you arrested? Tell them about that one.
I had left and I came back to see my mother, and I had heard about somebody getting robbed or something like that. Evidently, the elevator stopped on the 2nd floor.
Right.
So, like, when the elevator stopped, her door was like, you know, kind of, I could see where the police was sitting on like that.
Uh-huh.
And I spoke.
And Mitchell was there.
And I heard one of the officers doing something like this, like, not now. I'm wondering, I don't know if somebody dead in there, whatever went on. Yeah, it was put out that I robbed the lady. And I did this. I don't know. She got a problem.
And you talking about Hosea Mitchell?
Yeah, because it was told to me by some of her workers. She said I did it. And everybody was looking at me stupid. I don't know what they're looking at me dumb.
And I've got the piece of paper with the detective's card where I wrote the letter. I didn't even know you then. where I wrote, and I took you to my apartment and showed you the paper, where I wrote to the detective and told him that there's no way that you robbed that lady and that Mitchell falsified a police report and tried to blame it on you in order to get rid of you to cover up her stealing your mama's money.
I don't know what's going on, but I'll go out there and panhandle and take me some cans and bottles. I have this and I do it again before I will take some from anybody. And if things don't get better around here, I'll be picking up cans and bottles. And I ain't gonna see my mama go hungry now.
No, look, whatever I got, why you think I came here checked on your mom?
See, I thank God for my husband having that job. He got 11 other grands. I swear to God, you got to take care of all of them except for 2. And my other daughters and all like that. But we manage in some kind of way.
Well, I've mentioned this. I've called Douglas Apple, the manager. I've called Chino Hernandez's office, left messages. No one's ever called me back. I've been beating this drum for at least 2 years.
Oh, another thing I want to tell you. Like Mr. Clark told me to get in touch with him. That was, I was supposed to get in touch with him yesterday. But I did not, because I had nothing to say to him.
What did he want?
He said, because Miss Fonte said she had some problem with my mother. Did Miss Fonte get in touch with me? I know Miss
What
Fonte,
problem could they have with your mother that can't?
Because she don't go out the door.
She don't go out, she don't nothing.
You know? Now, I'm not going to say, the other day when she was going out, I was downstairs. The other day I was with her. So I don't know what's going on. But I did not return the call.
So they're trying to get rid of your mama out of here in order to cover this up?
I don't know. But that's where it looked to me. There was no problems before that.
Until the complaints started coming in.
My mother been here. I know I got a child that's, ooh, Jesus. I got a grandson that's 11 years, 12. I know she's been here at least over 13 years or more.
I remember her when she used to be down with in the tenant patrol. And then I didn't see her anymore, and I've been wondering what's happening. And when somebody brought me the copy of that bank statement, I took it to Isaac Perry. That was the same time I asked him to put my name on the lease. He told me, don't worry about it. Leave everything as it was.
I don't know what's going on now. Everybody else is moving in like it's a project. They just passed it.
Well, the Russian people downstairs, they got somebody living with them. The Spanish people, they got all kinds of people living with them.
I'm not going to talk about nobody. No, I'm not going to be racist. But
we're not being racist, but we're talking about how management favors some people against others. Yes or no?
That's true. I'm going to tell you. He was talking on the phone about this and that. I'm just going to sit her down and tell her this and that and other. When I got my husband, his whole tune changed.
Oh, so when a man came around, his whole tune changed, like he couldn't scare you no more.
That was one day my husband had her.
Ooh, Glenn Clark.
Scared.
You were scared?
I was actually scared. I'm going to sit her down, I'm going to tell her this and that. And I'm standing back there, told me just sit down. I said,
talking to you like you like trash.
I'm going to get my husband. But you know another thing he told me?
What?
When he went down south by how he went over the slaves was and this and that and other things he had never seen. What nationality do he think he is? You know? But my mother didn't raise me like that because I went to the best of schools, private schools and everything else. That's great if he's all the same. But as you told me the other day, I think he do have a little problem with that. But I ain't gonna point my finger at nobody unless I'm sure. I know. Go to your collection.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Go to your collection.
That's black love, Judge. This lady needs some justice, Judge. This lady needs some justice, Judge. Please, give us the subpoena, bring everybody to court, and let us get our day in court. I dare you to say that on camera.
I will say it.
Okay, say it on camera.
Mrs. Mitchell is a danger.
Okay, let me get from
Yeah,
my...
because I'm looking for
Right, okay. No, that's okay, that's okay. Now, tell us the story from about the stolen check. Look, you're not looking bad. No, you're not looking bad. Now, because I got a close-up, all right? Well, all right. Now, Mabel, tell us your name, where you live at, and tell us, no, just tell me your name, your phone number, and what you observed about the stolen check of Mr. Saxton and the whole scenario with the district attorney and everything.
My name is MEEKS, or I was approached by Mrs. Mitchell. I was on my way to the library on Merrick Road, and she said, I want to take a walk with you. And as we came back and returned to my mother's place here,
Right?
she showed me a check and said, this is James check, Saxton's check. I'm going to cash it because he didn't earn it. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what happened.
She stole a check from the mailroom downstairs,
Right?
went and took the check and cashed the check, said she was going to cash the check.
He said she was going to cash it.
Right.
Because he wasn't going to get it.
Because he wasn't going to get it because he didn't earn it.
Right.
That's the, and right. And what about, what happened after that? Because you told him that she had that
I informed him, yes.
you
Because
informed
she
him.
threatened me. That's the
Right.
reason why I told him.
Right.
Other than that, I would have never told him.
Right. And you told him, and then he went to the DA.
He tried to get help.
Right. And then he also wanted you and Miss Williams to accompany him to court something, right?
He asked me for an affidavit or whatever my recollection was
Mm-hmm.
of what happened.
Right.
I told him the same thing I'm saying to you.
Right.
I did see the woman with the check, with the man's name on it, but...
And it was a New York City housing check
From the little work he done.
from the work he did with Miss Canty
He
downstairs.
looked for that check for a long time.
And that's the man that came up dead days before he was supposed to be with the DA at criminal court.
Exactly.
I think everybody's got that. Now, you had mentioned something else before we started, that Mitchell is a danger. Yeah, tell.
She is a danger to all the vulnerable elderly people here, and she's forever threatening people. Ever, because I have a case against her myself. I have a document of her threatening me. That's it.
Because
got
Miss
a bad
Barlow
habit.
seen her with a hammer coming looking for me, and downstairs I got her on tape saying she come after me with a golf club because of the thing with her getting fired. And NYCHA, remember you had told this to the investigator Victoria Cruz about the stolen check of Mr. Saxton?
Of course.
And on my telephone in my house.
Exactly.
And she never called you for you to be deposed and for you to tell it or anything. And I believe personally it was an attempt to cover up that crime for Mitchell.
Probably.
Because it's so big, it would have brought in the feds.
They still should be on this. It is a federal defense. Anytime you go in mail and steal somebody's mail, and no matter what it might be, but this was a real check. City check belonging to Mrs. Saxton. And she pursued it, she stole it, and she cashed it. And whatever else happened, I cannot say. I can only go by what was said to me.
And the man did come up dead days before he's supposed to go to criminal court for her to be indicted.
Exactly.
And NYCHA don't want to have anything to do with it.
No.
They never called you back after you told them that the investigator never... you know Victoria Cruz is fired out here.
Wonderful. They all need to be fired because they are no good. From top to bottom. They're no good. None of them. Because they don't respond to things that are important and that need urgently attention. They don't do it. Simple as that.
Thank you, Mabel. I'm going to go downstairs and get me some Chinese food, baby. All right, Mommy. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't know anything else but the truth. That's what I saw with my eyes.
That's it.
My ice and sight.
That's why
I didn't ask for it because I didn't know anything about it. I knew nothing of this. I wasn't interested in it because I don't listen to stuff like that.
And you know were you aware or witness to her abusing senior citizens, like yelling at them, abusing them, and that sort of thing?
Forever calling people stupid and using very profanity language.
That's exactly what Miss downstairs, Miss Harper said. Calling these old people stupid.
And using profanity language.
And using profanity against them. What about the yelling and the screaming?
Frightening them, abusive, or, out of character.
Abusive behavior, totally out of character.
The behavior is totally out of character. There's no reason for this woman to behave this way towards innocent, vulnerable people.
Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Chairman Tino Hernandez, you get that. Mr. Douglas Apple, you can't say you don't know about it. I contacted you. Judith Abruzzo of the Inspector General's office, you fired Victoria Cruz because she was part of the conspiracy that were trying to help Miss Green's daughter. Yeah, you know about that one.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's very bad. She embezzled the woman out of her money.
And went and bought the mink coats in that car.
Yeah, thank you.
and nobody want to believe it. I mean, they act like somebody. Now I see why she calls everybody stupid. Because what she does is so outrageous. If you tell it to strangers, they'd probably never believe it. Unless there's collaboration by a bunch of people. And that's what I'm trying to get here.
Pull this with somebody with a little intelligence and some type of, common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense. That's all it is, common sense. You know when somebody beats you for one thing, you don't allow them to come back and take thousands of dollars and embezzle your money from your account, go and then let them sign where they can take control of your account. The woman is stealing the people's money. Honestly. Because they are allowing it. They are afraid of her. That's why.
And the nepotism that got her on that job of Tenant Patrol Supervisor by Isaac Perry is another thing that needs to be investigated. If she got fired from NYCHA for cause, what is she doing still? It's almost like a Brown of FEMA that got fired for his incompetence in Louisiana and he still got a consultant job making more money. That's bureaucratic, political nonsense. We need to take it to a judge.
This is Mr. Clark calling from the New York City Housing Authority. I have a message for Alta Grace regarding Mr. Philip Drice. If you can give me a call back as soon as possible, it's an urgent matter. Seems there's some kind of violation going on. I want to get to the bottom of it. Thanks. Have a nice day.
Thursday, 11:29 a.m.
Hello, this is a message from Miss Alta Grace Drice. It's important that you give us a call at the management office at Baisley Houses. We would prefer that you don't let Mr. Philip Drice call us because we have some problems regarding him. We need, if you have another relative that speaks English and can translate for you to contact us, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thursday, 2:23 p.m.
harassing. Imagine going to court with no trial. Lifestyle cruising blue Bahama waters. No welfare supporters. More conscious of the way we raise our daughters. Days are shorter, nights are colder. Feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. The world's hot, my son got knocked. Evidently, it's elementary. They want us all gone eventually. Trooping out of state for a plate. Knowledge, if coke was cooked without the garbage, we'd all have the top dollars. Imagine everybody flashing. Fashion, designer clothes. Lacing your click up with diamond rolls. Your people holding dough, no parole, no rubbers. Going raw, imagine law with no undercovers. Just some thoughts for the mind. I take a glimpse into time. Watch the blimp read, the world is mine.
If I rule the world,
imagine that.
I free all my sons. I love them, baby.
New York City Housing Authority has snubbed my congressman, Congressman Gregory W. Meeks. And in the shadows, NYCHA is strategizing damage control. And we have New York City's Human Resources Administration coming to the rescue to have a disabled American veteran displaced into homelessness for blowing the whistle on Baisley House's employees, robbing senior citizens, and locking them up in a gas chamber trying to kill them. That is a fact. The congressman's office for 2 months has had my paperwork, all the evidence, along with videotapes, and NYCHA, with a sister agency, has been hunting this Haitian national. This is Shelton House. New York City Housing Authority, Shelton House. 89-09 162nd Street. This is where Mayor Bloomberg's political appointees, Tino Hernandez, has been aiding, abetting, giving material support, and suppressing the knowledge of criminal activities by HOLSIA, Mitchell, Neva Harper, and others, Brenda Wells, to actually kill these old people right after they rob them of their money. They take them to banks, have them put the NYCHA employees' names on bank accounts, and they drain their money. These old people are calling each other inmates. What kind of nonsense is this, Mayor Bloomberg? Are you going to take responsibility for Tino Hernandez, Chairman, New York City Housing Authority? Douglas Apple, General Manager. He's the guy that confiscated the evidence I gave him about two years ago in order to suppress this. Judith Abruzzo, the Inspector General. She outed me as a whistleblower and then sent a referral to the NYCHA legal department that's run by Mr. Lil Ricky Ricardo Morales, who sent a bunch of goon squads over here, along with the 107th Precinct, to chase me out of my house went right after my mother died. Without the permission of the zoning board, your political appointees of New York City Housing Authority are rezoning the 6th district of Congressman Meeks. Isn't that illegal? Oh, well, I'm sorry. Can't call you guys to the carpet because you're not supposed to use the word. All right, I won't use the word. I'll show it to you better right upstairs for HUD to put them in jail right after they get fired. And by the way, I'm supposed to be evicted in a few days. Let's see if that really. I am a disabled American veteran being displaced by your administration as retaliation for exposing crimes of your political appointees at New York City Housing Authority. I'm talking about Tino Hernandez, the chairman, Douglas Apple, the general manager, Judith Abruzzo, either the present Inspector General or former, and Lil Ricky Ricardo Morales. He's got his lawyers should be disbarred because they went to court and committed a whole bunch of perjury, and Congressman Meeks has all the proof. His number is 718-718. Respect for Mayor Bloomberg. because I respect myself. But what kind of ship are you running here in New York City? Are you going to take responsibility for them, or are you going to call them to the carpet? They snubbed the congressman because you're the most powerful guy in all of New York State. I'm going to make these allegations without any proof. Here is Franny Green's bank statement, embezzled by HOLSIA Mitchell, covered up by New York City Housing Authority at the highest levels. Tino Hernandez, Douglas Apple, Judith Abruzzo, and little Ricky Ricardo Morales. Here is your Ricky Ricardo Morales. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Ricardo Elias Morales telling me to leave them alone. Don't call NYCHA no more. Stop your complaints. We're going to handle it. Here is the proof of me sending to your Mr. Weintraub on 3/16/06 that the old lady almost blew up the building because they locked her up in her apartment after stealing her money, going to Social Security to become representative payee. She's suffering from malnutrition, Alzheimer's, and dementia, and you leave her in the gas for 4 hours? Here's the call log number for 3/16/06. FDNY EMT call log number 2140. Listen to the senior resident advisor saying NYCHA knew she was in there for 4 hours. So you got to get her, and you gassing black folk. You a freaking Nazi. And then 2 days after that, after I gave them this information, here they are giving me 8 months free rent to keep my mouth shut as a bribe. If I didn't take it and had a court paper to show it, you wouldn't believe me, would you? Took your money. 3 months after I take the bribe, they got the checks, did not cash the checks, went to the marshal, had me evicted. Adult Protective Services and Human Resources, in complicity with them, did not help me do my own order to show cause, did not do the order to show cause. I had to do it. Then I went to court and showed Judge Kramer that here's the money was in the bank waiting for them. And they knew there was a crime of opportunity because they had seen a newspaper article that I got the Canadians to give me $1 million worth of breath testers to help save New York State residents' lives by giving them a free, portable, disposable, 100% accurate, foolproof breath tester. Come on, man. And here is the letter from my attorney, the affidavit, the affirmation that says, hey, look, you guys misrepresented your case in court to evict Philip DRICE. Guess what? Nobody cares. On top of it, in order to kill my life from that day, they brought in a ringer. Here's the affidavit that says right here, my signature was gotten under false pretenses to accuse. Here it is, right here. My signature was gotten under false pretenses to accuse Mr. DRICE of criminal conduct in court, and I was misled by Miss Neva Harper to sign any document against Mr. DRICE to fabricate evidence. That's suborning perjury. They should be in jail. That's illegal. NYCHA Legal is in cahoots and perpetrating this fraud. Josephine Russo sends something that said that this is an exclusive senior center. The congressman's office told the court evaluator, Jamie BUTCHIN of CREEDMOOR Psychiatric, NYCHA is perpetrating a fraud. No one paid attention to it. But when I send you information about Ralph Sanders abusing his grandmother in here, and economic exploitation and child abuse, that idiot, Judge Millian of the People's Court chewed me out. Didn't you see it on September 12th? Didn't you see me looking like crap on TV? Well then, guess what? Stu Blair Productions, you're next. And on top of it, that was 3 things. This is a little bit separate, the People's Court thing about NYCHA. Now, this is the money back from a check of NYCHA that they told the judge they never got the money from the wire transfers. You know what kind of stunt they pulling over here, folks? It's called railroads. That New York City Housing Authority conscripted Neva Harper into committing a crime of perjury in court, gathering those petitions with no heading, no title, and then taking her to court to lie because I was the one that was the guy helping her save her apartment. Here it is right here. You see it? You see the date? You got everything? I told you I wasn't joking. I told you I wasn't playing. Didn't I? I'm a former Special Forces Army Airborne Ranger with the 1st Battalion, 75th Infantry. I'm not Airborne Ranger Cook. It's the Meeks who's supposed to save me. But he doesn't have enough power. And guess what, Mr. Congressman? I'd like to tell this to you face to face. That's your face, and you know what I look like. Somebody needs to call the Civil Rights Commission to find out how come your district is being rezoned without the zoning board's permission. And guess what? Ask Councilman COMRIE how ticked off he is about that. They snubbed you, man. Snubbed. You got snubbed. You got snubbed. And you so scared of them, you won't say nothing. And you're going to keep your mouth shut and going to let them go ahead and do damage control? Are you giving them time to do damage control? You've had this for 2 months. Stop them from killing me. I'm a disabled... But Congressman, your special assistant, Miss Ida M.SMITH, she's been kind of like breaking her neck trying to save me, so... I'm calling you to the carpet, making you accountable. Because you got to make sure that $20,858 stolen by HOLSIA Mitchell from North Fork Bank gets returned to Mrs. Green's family. Oh, everybody, get your money out of North Fork Bank. They'll let anybody come and claim that they're a family member and let them steal the money, and they've got no responsibility. Take your money out. Take your money out. Your political appointees that's rezoning this district illegally, outing whistleblowers, aiding, abetting, and giving material support for their people to commit crimes, have been caught dead cold and red-handed. And here's the proof that I sent all y'all the information. You got that? You got that? There's nobody lying. There's nobody playing here. But I'm going to go to HUD. You don't know how ticked off, because this is the evidence that Human Resource Administration, Adult Protection Services have been complicit with NYCHA. Why? How come my attorney sends them a piece of paper to demonstrate that clearly you guys misrepresented the court by sending me a check for the money you said you never had? And here's the mark-to-market Enron accounting practices of New York City Housing Authority. You bill me $166, but you're sending the rent out at $668, and then I owe thousands, and then you tell a white Jewish judge I'm hunting white women because I called Josephine Russo and told her, you've been committing fraud and I'm taking you to the disciplinary committee of the Bar Association? And you racial profiled me. Not a very good idea. Hits just keep on coming, Mayor Bloomberg. New York City Housing Authority Locksbox Unit on December 5th sent my mother, somebody they knew was dead for a long time. I even went to them right here and asked them to send a bill in my name. They wouldn't do that. But in order to cover up what they were planning, that's where you get knowing what you were going to do before you were going to do it. It was a plan. This proves it. That's connecting the dots. On December 5th, they sent my mother the money back. On December 11th, they went to court and said the money was never sent. Liar, 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 pants on fire. And then, when my attorney called them to the carpet on it, as you saw in the last piece of document, here it is. They're saying that they're sending me $415 back, but going to send my mother $116. What kind of cockamamie game is this, buddy? Here's the check. Here's the freaking check. Come on, here's the check. Why your political appointees need to go to jail. I apologize about the English. English is my third language. That would probably make me more European than you, right? Now, Mr. Bloomberg, talk to me. 4 months to the day after Ricardo Morales said, don't bother us no more, you gassed this old woman like she was in a Nazi ghetto for the final solution. Then, here is proof, evidence of human resources aiding, abetting, and giving material support to that other agent, the sister agency of NYCHA, because now they're having me adjudicated incapacitated. He's got no proof. There's something wrong with him. He's a shell-shocked vet. Now you see, you're abusing a disabled veteran, ain't you? You don't know what my disabilities are, and that's protected under the Privacy Act of 1974. So you create a stereotype disabled vet, and then I tried to get a jury trial, and it says right here that is my right. But guess what? Jamie BUTCHIN of CREEDMOOR Psychiatric won't allow that. That's too much information out. The neocons have been suckered into believing that if they don't go with these guys, they're not going to go to heaven. Somebody's lying to you. I sent to Jamie BUTCHIN, Ida Smith, Special Assistant Congressman Meeks, Danya FUREY, the court evaluator, Gary Leonardo, my attorney, my corporate attorney, Stephen Weintraub, told him to get in touch with NYCHA. Guess what? I asked Congressman I wrote a letter begging, pleading for congressional oversight. It never happened. It never happened. Now, this is me being a star witness for CREEDMOOR Psychiatric, where I put a pelican brief together. That's right, a pelican brief together for the Queens District Attorney's Office, and I was summarily dismissed. But it says here, you don't get to be the biggest head bosses of NYCHA without having sidestepped a few landmines and can muster a small army to defend their agencies. DRICE contacted Mr. Oti of APS and told he has a conflict of interest should he be asked lots of questions and his neglect of Mrs. Franny Green's embezzlement of HOLSIA Mitchell embezzling $20,858 from Mrs. Green's account. It seems no one dared imagine Mrs. Green almost killing herself and hurting others had the gas been ignited and blew up the building. The gas was on for 4 hours before she was rescued, and I made it happen. But it's more important that you cover up the $20,858 that was covered up, and we have 2 city agencies in collusion doing that, trying to freaking kill me intangibly by your Human Resources Administration deciding to have me adjudicated incapacitated like you guys taught, the neocons taught Mr. Karzai of Afghanistan to have adjudicated incapacitated that converted Muslim to Christianity so you can ship him off to the U.S. where he'll be protected as a political exile or something like that. But the best thing is Dr. Merle Robinson of APS in Washington said that I'm suffering from alcohol intoxication, alcohol dependence, ruled out bipolar disorder, and the presiding justice, I can't have those records sealed because I need to expose this. But the worst part that directly implicates NYCHA, right here. The apartment is in a building for senior citizens only. Got you, NYCHA. They said for senior citizens and the handicapped. I'm a 100% disabled vet. Why are you trying to get me out? Is it because you're trying to save your job? I think Tino Hernandez wants to go back to Puerto Rico and do real estate. Well, didn't the Daily News catch him stealing from the city? Because he was forging or doing something with them travel vouchers so he ain't got to pay. And Human Resources is helping NYCHA get rid of me. And it says right here, Philip DRICE will likely be evicted and possibly become homeless. This would be a severe risk and of irreparable harm to the well-being of Mr. DRICE. Your political appointees at NYCHA will not stick a piece of wood like this up my like your representatives of the New York City Police Department did to Mr. Louima. You got that? That was the stick, Mr. Bloomberg, that was served to Mr. Abner Louima. Remember that, Haitian? Remember? The Haitian blood is so foul. We created AIDS and we had to march on the city across the bridge from Brooklyn. This is my mother's death certificate. Okay? And it has my business address, and it was then corrected to my home address. My mother's death certificate, my domicile was 8909 162th Street. Here is your own lease, New York City Housing Authority lease rules and regulations. The highlighted part, use of premises. To use the premises solely as a private dwelling for the tenant and the family, and not to carry any business, professional or economic enterprise, or any of the nature, blah, blah, blah. That's why you see here that my own Haitian relatives, because of them 3 sugar plantations that I have with $7.5 million that I can't go to my country to get, got my brother to sign some papers, and they used the wrong address. And so the Dowd Funeral Home had to fix it. I am what is called a remaining family member. Okay? And a remaining family member is entitled to succeed in the apartment. And I did that. And when Josephine Russo went to court and lied to Judge Kramer and said I was never on the family composition sheet, that's not true. Here's the proof. That's the evidence. You got that? That means they're caught dead cold, red-handed, committing the kind of crime that they need to go to jail for. I gotta take a break now. The phone's ringing. Love you, Mayor Bloomberg. Keep up the good work. To even more evidence of the complicity of Human Resources, Adult Protective Services Department, they went and conscripted Visiting Nurse Service. Went and conscripted them, and in talking to them, they found out that I lived in Asia for a while, blah, blah. Then they're going to end up bringing some Filipino over here thinking that's going to induce me into being more cooperative. Go and call my lawyer, Gary DiNardo, and say I'm not being cooperative. That's because there's a problem here. You trying to send me into some sort of, here it is, they made me an appointment to go into some kind of drug and alcohol treatment program. When I got there, here's the woman saying right here, referral to mental health clinic. She signed it. That's because I have a freaking anger management freaking problem. Dig it? With a lot of other ones. I just can't seem to disengage from that rape, killing, pillage, Special Forces Airborne Ranger, the great empire of the United States of America's very own suicide mission bunch of squad. But they taught us to actually go do it and come back. Now there's the Ranger Brigade. Okay? You got that? Please, 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 please. It says right here. Okay? I told them. After the Rangers, I went to school to be a behavioral science specialist. Worked in the first Freedom Houses. Behavioral science specialist. United States Army drug and alcohol specialist. Here it is, medical specialist. Okay? That's another college degree from Tacoma University. Here's me right here working for Frieden Alcatel, formerly of AT&T. This is me right here with AT&T. Went to school. That's my airborne thing. This is a certificate of appreciation from the United States Olympic team. Okay? And this is my mother's thing right here, right after Pierre DRICE. They went, do not go to Queens General Hospital. Do not go to Queens General Hospital. He went there, they killed him. She went there, they kidnapped her, sent her to a Jewish nursing home. And if it wasn't for that wonderful Jewish lady who adopted me as a Jektar, just like Miss Elizabeth Lauenberg of the Madison Avenue Lauenbergs that adopted me when my mother was her French maid, I'd have been finished. This is me with Frieden Alcatel. What's this one? Phil DRICE, top sales rep in revenue for the region. Right here, okay? I went to Catholic boarding schools, okay? Honorable discharge. Another one, honorable discharge. And this is my mommy. This is my mommy. And guess what she taught me? If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. That's Jocelyn Armand de la Tour. That's the former wife of Ambassador de la Tour. Here this is. The brother seen how I was taking care of my mother. He brought me into the lodge, Ezekiel Lodge number 5, Freemasons. And this is my idol right here. And guess what he said? The chickens are coming home to roost. And that's no daggone joke. And let me see if I got some. Dr. Apperoff at York College. I gave him an award because he snatched me out of that psych undergraduate psych program, told me to go into marketing and corporate sales. Do you guys think I did well? Because this is Dr. Tube the Crusader, the newest superhero of the 21st century, looking to dethrone the #1 preventable health hazard in our great empire by the year 2015 with the Aqua Tube Plus. It's patented and it has FDA certification for the active ingredients. Okay, and this is the only war unit breath tester that can be calibrated. I sell the franchises. Please allow me to live in peace and make money so that I can leave the projects. I'm not project. You can't say you don't know about this, because when I went to the public advocate's office, and here's the stamp right here, okay, true copy of original, and here's the stamp where I got a stamp at the public advocate's office. I took the videotapes that your Inspector General's office had when I took her office those videotapes, and that's notarized true copy of the original. They sent the referral to the Office of the Attorney General of New York State. But it was during the time of the elections. NYCHA should be under investigation for civil rights violations. What is the epilogue of the story? I'm about to tell you in a minute. This is the carrot, Mr. Bloomberg. I'm showing you why legally I should succeed in this apartment. I hope it's palatable to you, sir. I'm not angry. I'm not anything anymore. Right Honorable Mr. Bloomberg. This right here is something you'll find very interesting. I'll read it for you. I have on this day conferred. This is from Gary Leonardo's letterhead. I have this day conferred with Richard Newmark of New York City Housing Authority, who informed me that the computer system of NYCHA has no record of the filing of a notice of claim by Philippe E. Drice, very truly yours, Gary Leonardo. And what's this? What is this? In the matter of the claim of Philippe E. Drice, Aquatube USA Inc., estate of Alter Grace Drice et al. To NYCHA, New York City of the State of New York. New York City APS, NYPD, Fox 5 Television Network, and Stu Billett Productions. It's a pro se action by Philip Edward Drice. Is that the stamp? Does that look real to you? How come they don't have it? How come they don't have it? The plot thickens, sir. The plot thickens. Let's go to the next step. Veterans Administration. I am a disabled veteran living on little to nothing. Last year it was $881. This year it's $910. This is what I did in the Army. That's Reforged, Germany, 1976. 1975. Special Forces Airborne Ranger DRICE. See that beret, that black beret? Until everybody in the Army could wear it, and they changed the Rangers to the brown. That's the Airborne Ranger Cook.
She said it's really